Hi everyone. Today we're doing notes on 4.1 probability. So probability is a measure of how likely it is to occur, measured on a scale from 0, meaning it's impossible to occur, to 1, where it's certain to occur. Probabilities closer to 1 indicate the event is more likely to occur. Probabilities closer to 0 indicate that the event is less likely to occur. There are 3 different ways to assign probability or likelihood of an event. Number 1, a probability assignment based on intuition incorporates past experience, judgment, or opinion. Probability assignment based on relative frequency uses the formula frequency of the event occurrence divided by the sample of n observations, where f is the frequency of the even occurrence in a sample of n observations. A probability assignment based on equally likely outcomes uses the formula number of outcomes favorable to an event divided by the total number of outcomes. So it says assign a probability to the indicated event on the basis of the information provided. Indicate the technique you used, intuition, relative frequency, or the formula for equally likely outcomes. A says a random sample of 500 students at Hudson College was surveyed, and it was determined that 375 wear glasses or contact lenses. Estimate the probability that a Hudson College student selected at random wears corrective lenses. So for this one, the technique we're going to use is relative frequency. And so if we find the probability, we take 375 divided by 500, which reduces to 3/4 or 0.75. The Friends of the Library hosts a fundraising barbecue. George is on the cleanup committee. There are 4 members on this committee, and they draw lots to see who will clean the grills. Assuming that each member is equally likely to be drawn, what is the probability that George will be assigned the grill cleanup job? Please answer this one. Okay, our technique to be used, this is going to be the formula for equally likely outcomes. And our probability is going to be 1/4 or 0.25. Joanna photographs whales for Sea Life Adventure Films. On her next expedition, she is to film blue whales feeding. Based on her knowledge of the habits of blue whales, she is almost certain she will be successful. What specific number do you suppose she estimates for the probability of success? So for this one, we're going to use intuition. And when we find the probability, it says she is almost certain. So almost certain means we're going to be close to 1. So I would say anything between 0.9 and 1 is a good estimate. All right, the law of large numbers. This says in the long run, as the sample size increases and increases, the relative frequencies of outcomes get closer and closer to the theoretical or actual probability value. This is used by insurance companies, casinos, etc. So Professor Gutierrez is making up a final exam for a course in literature of the Southwest. He wants the last 3 questions to be of the true-false type. To guarantee that the answers do not follow his favorite pattern, he lists all possible true-false combinations for the 3 questions on slips of paper and then picks one at random from a hat. So I want you to finish listing the outcomes and then answer questions 2 and 3. Okay, so we have true, 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 false, false, true, true, false, true, false, true, false, true, true, false, false. We're missing false, false, true, and false, false, false. The probability that all 3 items will be false, so if we're looking, that is this one. So this is going to give us 1/8. And then if we want the probability that exactly 2 items will be true, we see we have 1, 2, 3 cases here. So this is 3/8. All right. The complement of an event, this is the opposite of an event happening. That is the thing that happens if the event itself does not. So the probability of A plus the probability of A complement is equal to 1. The event A and the complement of event A is AC. So a probability of the complement of A is going to be equal to 1 minus the probability of A. So a veterinarian tells you that if you breed 2 cream-colored guinea pigs, the probability that an offspring will be pure white is 0.25. What is the probability that an offspring will not be pure white? So we know probability of pure white plus the probability of not pure white is going to be equal to 1. So this is going to be 0.25 plus, we're looking for a number here. We know this is going to be 0.75, right? So our probability of not pure white is going to be 0.75. You can also set this up and just do 1 minus 0.25 to get your 0.75 as well. All right, rolling a die. If you roll a single die and count the number of dots on top, what is the sample space of all possible outcomes? Are the outcomes equally likely? So our sample space here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And yes, these are equally likely. B says assign probabilities to the outcomes of the sample space of part A. Do the probabilities add up to 1? Should they add up to 1? Explain. So we can do 1/6 for each because there are 6 of them and they are equally likely. And yes, they should add up to 1. We know if we do 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, that's 6 of them. So that's 6/6 or 1. All right, I want you to answer C and D now using these probabilities. Okay, C says, what is the probability of getting a number less than 5 on a single throw? So if I want less than 5, that means I could get 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this is 4/6 or 2/3. For D, what is the probability of getting 5 or 6 on a single throw? So 5 or 6, there's 2 of those, so 2/6 or 1/3. And that's all we have for today.